Hey guys, it's Samurai Kibiji, and GameSir was really nice to reach out to me to try out this controller. I've literally not opened it as I'm recording this video. This is entire raw experience right in front of you. I said I'd do it because I thought this would be a neat experiment and also could be valuable for like me and everybody else. Also works for not just the Switch, but also PC and Bluetooth like on your phone and stuff. But for now, let's take a look at it. So we slide it out. This is nice boxing. I have to say, I really like the boxing. Fancy, 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 and look at how pro that looks. They're not paying me for this, by the way. Like, they just literally sent me it. I'm like, sure, I'll give my unbiased and just, I don't know you guys. I have no brand loyalty or nothing, so I'll try you out. First off, the thing I noticed is that the texture is really nice. Like, on the side here, it's a kind of, I don't know if the camera shows it very well, but it's kind of like a very scratchy material. I have no complaints about this. This feels good. I just wish the back wasn't rubber, and that's about it. Looks like it has a USB-C port, same kind of charger as a Nintendo Switch, so that's cool. Big thing that really made me intrigued about it is this. You have a thing for your phone, potentially. Oh my God, that's actually really smooth. Hold on. There we go. Yep, that's my iPhone Plus with its cover on. Not too heavy either. It's not as heavy as a Switch, I'll tell you that. Switch is too thick. There's no way. Switch is too thick. It's like, yeah, like this. Switch is way too thick. No, okay, that doesn't work. But that's something I really like about this. It's just a built-in stand on the controller instead of you having to like snap something on. It says that you are able to swap out the buttons, which I thought was a really cool feature. Like, these buttons can be moved around in case, you know, because if you look at it, the Switch controller has very different like A, X, B, Y and everything. Problem though, this says they're magnetic and there's a reserved left groove for you to take off the buttons if you want to. But I've been tinkering with this thing for the past 5 minutes and I haven't been able to. It could just be me and I'm just missing something, but just in terms of a first impression, yeah, they aren't coming off as easy as I was hoping they would. I still believe they are, and again, it could just be because I'm a dunce, but they do say these buttons are magnetic and they can be taken off. Just for the life of me, I can't figure out how to do it. I mentioned before maybe that there's like it says it does wireless with PC through a USB dongle, and I was like, okay, well, what about the USB dongle? Where is it? Turns out it's right in here. They built it into the controller just like how a lot of mouses do it. So yeah, you just have that ready for you whenever you want in case you're around a PC and you want to hook up. Apparently this is a screenshot button as well as like a turbo button. I'm not quite sure what the turbo button does, but the screenshot button, if there's like a screenshot feature through your console like the Switch or your PC, you'll be able to do that. But speaking of the Switch, let's try to sync this bad boy up and see how its latency is. I'm gonna use Super Smash Bros. Ultimate because that is to me like a great game to test latency and how that works. The controller rumbled. It rumbled really good. Let's go to a Smash match. Yeah, it has a really good rumble. You can't get that through the video. It's like the PS5 controller, you know, it's hard to say without describing, but it's got a really good rumble. Oh, actually first, wait, before I close it, let's test the screenshot. Yeah, so the screenshot button does work. Whoa. What I'm noticing is it's a little bit overkill sometimes. The tilts work. It's a little bit too much rumble. I'm assuming there's a way to get rid of that, but it's got a lot of rumble. It's like trying to create a bass. It's a hit or miss. Sometimes I'm feeling like I'm overrunning sometimes. It's not bad though. Like, this is so far a valuable option. We're gonna do a latency test here. Okay, they're equal. Pretty much exactly the same. I don't remember if I disabled some rumble things on the Switch, but here's a prime example of the rumble amount. I have the force. I mean, in terms of latency, it seems pretty damn the same. Whereas if I go with this controller, there's something about the joystick. It feels like it's a little bit too high. Yeah, it is, just ever so, it's gonna be really hard to tell this on camera, but the joysticks here are a little, just ever so slightly higher than the Switches, and I think that's the reason why I feel like when I'm in motion, it just kind of feels like it's taking a lot longer. Like, the button input is the same, it just doesn't feel as like easy as the Switch Pro because it just is, it feels a little bit taller. So because it's taller, I feel like I have more of a distance for my thumb to work. But that's really it. Cause yeah, I just think the rumble is a little bit overkill. And I mean, you could probably go into the game settings and get rid of the rumble, but to me, that's my main gripe so far, is that like, this is very valuable for like a $50 controller. Otherwise, it seems like it's doing everything I want to. I think earlier Jesus. Hello, this is future Tony Kibiji. So I did record a ton of other stuff in this video to be kind of like raw and show my reactions, but honestly, I was just kind of being a dunce and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. It was kind of struggling and just didn't read the manual. So I just want to give you thoughts after having gone on a trip with this thing. It was perfect timing actually. And I brought my tablet, I brought my phone, and I brought my Switch, and I tested with all of them and figured out a little bit more with the PC. And I mainly want to tell you about the syncing process of it because it's kind of a hit or miss sometimes. First off, you're not going to be able to turn on your Switch with this thing, at least in my experience. Most of the time you're not. I think one time I did, but most of the time you are going to have to turn on your Switch first and then pair your controller. The phone seems pretty consistent. I have never, once it's been paired up with my phone, it has never been able to lose the pairing with the phone. And my tablet was good, but then now it's like a hit or miss situation also with it being synced or not. And there was also a time where I saw like GameSir Pro as the controller, but it wouldn't pair with that, so I pressed Xbox One controller, and then it thought this was an Xbox One controller, so it was a little bit confusing on my Android tablet. And the PC, it seems to work for the most part. This is another one that's kind of like for the most part. If there is problems connecting to your PC, then you basically have to like completely reboot the controller. But what I do like about this is that each of these buttons pairs with one thing. And so it's kind of neat that, you know, the controller can just remember, okay, I paired with this device, and you can press that certain button to go there. I just wish the Switch, the Android, and the PC were a bit more consistent with how they worked, but so far my iPhone never lost it. If you want a new Bluetooth controller for some reason, you know, you don't want to get another Xbox One, you don't want to get another Switch one and have to like get a separate mount for it, this thing alone could potentially make it worth it for you. Again, GameSir did not pay me to do this video. They simply sent me this to test it out and share with you guys what my thoughts were on it. Honestly, I played a bit of Fall Guys with it and I made it to the final round a couple times. There isn't terribly much latency problems. The biggest problem really is just how tall the joysticks are. That's my one kind of feedback. And the rumble. The rumble is out of control. But those are two things that, do they ruin the experience? Not necessarily, but if you just want some kind of $50 controller, then this might be a good buy. However, if you are interested, like I said, to have something that can sync to multiple things instead of just one thing, you can find the link to check it out in the description below. And again, I'm not affiliated in any way, just if you'd like to check it out and something I said in here intrigues you, check that out in the description down below. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to be geek, proud, awesome, and let me know what you think of this controller, or what's your favorite third-party controller. How about that?